everyone, welcome again to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Farida. Thank you for clicking on today's video. If you're a new viewer, welcome to my channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're a returning subscriber, a part of the family, thank you so much for coming back and stay tuned for today's video. And if you don't already follow me on Instagram, follow me on my Instagram account at Farida_1. I also have another Instagram account specifically dedicated to like studying abroad, which I'll be updating very soon. So if you'd like to follow that, you can also find the link to that on my main account, which is at Farida_1. In today's video, I'll be talking about how to apply to UK universities, and I'll be talking about this based on my own experience. So stay tuned because I'll be sharing a lot of like very useful information. You've probably seen a lot of videos like this on YouTube, but I feel like this will be different because I'll be talking about it from my own perspective. I haven't gone through the process. The first point that I want you to take very good note of is the location of the university that you may want to study in. A lot of people that want to study in the UK think, oh, London is like the only place they can study at. But London is not the only city in the whole of the UK. Like, there are a lot of options for you to choose from. The UK alone is made up of 4 nations of England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. And in these nations, there are a lot of universities that you can easily study at. One thing to also note is that the location that you choose to study in will determine like the cost of living, the cost of tuition fees and other factors. And I feel like it's something that is really important. Like a lot of people come to London and they're like, oh, I don't want to be in London, like I don't like it here. And so it's really good to do your research properly before you actually choose where you want to study. There are 4 nations, like I said, to choose from. London is not the only place. Please don't just feel like London is the only option for you. There are so many options in the UK where you can study peacefully, pay less tuition fees, pay less for cost of living and all of that. So do your research before actually choosing a location to study in. My next point is about undergraduate studies in the UK, and this will very obviously depend on like various factors. So if you're someone that is coming from, say, Nigeria to study in the UK, in any part of the UK whatsoever, and you, for example, done your WAEC, which is the exam that is done in Nigeria, for example, after secondary school, and you've not actually done any other qualifications after that, I think it's really important to know that it is best to do like A-levels or any foundation year program before coming to the UK. Because, for example, if after finishing your secondary school education, you don't have any, you haven't done any A-levels or foundation year program, and you come here to study, you'll be paying a lot more in tuition fees for a foundation year program in the UK than you will be paying in Nigeria. Because when you come here to do it, you'll be paying the UK rate when you could easily do it in Nigeria for either 1 year or 2 years at the Nigerian rates, for example, which is cheaper. So I think that is something that a lot of people need to know. Don't just like be like, oh, I finished my secondary school education, I just want to come here. But obviously, if your parents can afford it, good luck to you. Like, that is a good option. Like, you can easily obviously like do your foundation year program, move to your first year, and that way you're already like in the UK system. But if you're someone that is not like very rich and you're still trying to find ways to pay your tuition fees, I'll definitely say that after your secondary school education, do a foundation year program in Nigeria or wherever country you're from, or A-levels before coming to the UK to start your education. One thing I also say that a lot of people seem not to know is that a lot of universities in the UK would actually accept your WAEC results, say like your English results in WAEC, as your proof of English. Because in my case, for example, I only did the WAEC exam, the West African Senior Secondary School Examinations. That is what it's called. I did not have to do the IELTS, and I've actually never done it. So I think this is also a very good point to consider. Like, look at the universities that you may want to apply to, whether it's in England, Scotland, Wales or Northern Ireland. Actually check if they'll accept your WAEC result, and you wouldn't have to go through the stress of having to prepare for IELTS and hope that you'll pass, obviously, with the required grade. My next point is about postgraduate studies in the UK. So let's say, for example, again, you're from Nigeria, you finish your law degree, for example, a bachelor's of law in Nigeria, or you finish a degree, for example, in economics or mathematics or whatever degree you've gained from whatever country you're coming from. So the next point then is for you to actually think, do I want to come to the UK to build up on my previous qualification, or do I want to study something entirely different? For example, a person could think, oh, I've got a degree in law, I just want to do a master's in law and see what would happen and maybe qualify in the UK. Or another person could say, oh, I studied law in Nigeria, I don't want to have anything to do with law anymore, I want to go into something else, maybe go into marketing or go into data analytics or something like that. And so it's really good to also like look at that very well before actually choosing a course to study here in the UK. Another thing that is really important when you're thinking about a course to study in the UK is a career prospect. You want to check, okay, whatever course I want to come here to do, what is the career prospect? Will it allow me to get a job or something after I finish my degree? Because let's be honest, the main reason why we go to uni, apart from the knowledge and having the degree to say, yeah, I've got a first class degree in this, whatever, is because we want to get a good job afterwards. We want to be able to live a good life that we can afford. And so if you want to study in the UK, having paid so much money, it's really good to go to the shortage occupation list to see what the shortage occupations in the UK are, and see if the shortage occupations align with what you would want to do with your life, really, and see, and then weigh the options. Okay, what is on the shortage occupation list? What are my career prospects? What course do I want to study? Will this course that I want to study allow me to achieve my career prospects? And that is the way to choose a course. Really, don't just choose any random course and be like, yeah, I'll just go and do it and then see what happens. I mean, sometimes it may work for you, but seriously, don't do that. The next point that I want to talk about is what happens when you've actually decided on a particular course. It's also a really good option to choose a course that has a placement year, because you know, okay, I've got a course with a placement year. That means if I'm studying for a master's, I'm studying for the course for 1 year, and then I've got 1 year to work, which is really good. And during this 1 year of your placement year, you can actually work full time, which is really good. For example, you've applied for a master's, which is 1 year of study, one year of classroom study, and then 1 year of placement. That means you're studying for 1 year, and in second year you're actually like working, which is really good, because then you know you're working full time, you're getting paid, you're getting experience, and that is just perfect. Even if, for example, you've had to borrow money from family and friends to like study here, for example, for your first year, you're like, okay, second year I'm going to be working full time, I'm going to have a job, I'm going to be able to afford things, I'm going to be getting experience. And so in terms of like preparing for life after university, you're already getting the experience that will help you to like get a good job, which allow you to be able to work here in this country if that is your plan. This would then lead me to my next point in terms of experience. So you're thinking of coming to the UK, for example, to study whatever course you decided on. I think it's also really important that from day one start thinking of how to get work experience, because that is really important in the UK. Like, even if you have like the best degree, like you have a first class degree, 80 something, 90 something, whatever you get, it's really good to have experience. So like right from day one of thinking of a course that you want to study, start thinking of how you can also get experience to actually make your degree stand out, because a lot of people will also be studying that kind of degree, and any experience is really valid in this country. So that is another point that I would want you to hold on to whilst you're thinking of how to apply to the UK, where you want to study, what course you want to study. This will lead me to my next point in terms of, you've decided on a course you want to study, you've decided on the location, and now you want to apply. A lot of people tend not to know how to apply and go through agents. I can honestly tell you that this, like, coming to the UK to study, applying, is something you can do by yourself if you're confident enough. For me, I did it all by myself, and I know a lot of people that did it by themselves also. The application options are either direct application to your university or applications through UCAS. And you should also know that at some universities you need to pay an application fee, and for some other universities there's no application fee. And if you apply through UCAS, for example, there will be an application fee. So that is something you should also consider. Once you've already submitted your application, now you've got your application into the university. The next thing is for you to get either a conditional offer or an unconditional offer. A conditional offer simply means that you need to submit some documents, which will be your qualifications, pass the precast interview, pay your tuition fees deposits, and then you'll be able to move to an unconditional offer. Now that you've applied to your university, obviously you've got your application in. The next thing that you want to start thinking about is scholarships. And obviously, if you're someone that is very well rich and can afford to study in the UK, and money is not a problem for you, you may forget about scholarships. Like, don't think about this. Like, I don't need scholarships. Like, who needs scholarships? We can easily afford it. Money is not a problem to us. But if you're someone that you're trying to find ways to actually reduce your tuition fees, reduce the amount that you pay from your own pocket in one way or the other, scholarships are really important, because it will obviously like up with your tuition fees, up with the amount you have to pay. I should really stay tuned for my next video, which I did with Ronke, who studies at the University of Sheffield. Sheffield is outside of London by 1 hour or 2 hours, and it's a nice university, and she got a 50% scholarship for her undergraduate studies, and this is not even postgrad. You should definitely look out for scholarships, because there are scholarships out there that you can apply for. One thing that I really want you to take note of is that when you, for example, see a scholarship and they say, oh, we only want one person, like this scholarship is only going to be given to one person or two persons, don't let that discourage you, because once you don't even apply and you don't give yourself the chance of seeing whether you'll be granted that scholarship or not, you already limit your own chances without even anyone disturbing you. So even if it's one person that they need, even if they only specified one person, still try to put your application in very early. Don't leave it until the last minute, and hopefully just trust in God that you get the scholarship. The next point that you need to consider is the maintenance amount, the visa fees, and the IHS fees. I spoke to a few people who didn't even know they had to pay the IHS fee until it was time to pay it. So make sure to know the payments that are required of you. For you to get your student visa, you need to have a maintenance amount of £1,334 per month in your account for 9 months. And if you're studying outside of London, you need to have a maintenance amount of £1,023 for 9 months at a minimum in your bank account. Apart from the maintenance amount, you need to pay your visa fees and pay your immigration aid surcharge. The immigration aid surcharge depends on how many years you stay in the UK. I will know how much is required of us. You can also do the conversion and see how much that will be in Naira to know exactly how much you need to start gathering before it's time for you to apply. And if you're thinking of coming to the UK in September, because I think it's a bit too late now for January start, obviously, but if you come here to study in maybe May or September, these are the kind of things that I feel like will be useful for you. Or if you're coming to study in the UK next year, to really this is information that will be very handy for you. My next point now is about other documents that you may require. At the minimum, you obviously need your passport. So if you're from Nigeria, you need your green passport, which is not the nice green passport that everyone wants to have, but obviously you're from Nigeria, unfortunately. But you need your green passport, you need your educational qualifications. If you're coming here to do like a master's degree, you probably need an 8-year certificate. You need to check if that is required for your course. Make sure to check with your university and see what is required. Point for you to take note of is a tuberculosis test. If you're from countries where it is required, for example Nigeria, obviously you need to do a tuberculosis test before you submit your visa application, and you need to submit your tuberculosis certificate alongside your application. So that is another thing that you should also budget for, because you have to pay for the test. Nothing is free. Finally, you've applied to a university, you've passed your precast interview, you've got your class, you've applied for your visa, and now you're just waiting for UKVI to either grant or reject your visa. And obviously the hope is that your visa is granted so that all of the stress doesn't go to waste. The next thing for you to really start doing is to start looking out for jobs. Before you start looking out for jobs, start packing your bags and saying bye-bye to your friends and family until you see them again. Once you start packing your bags, obviously start looking out for jobs that you can likely do in the UK. If you can obviously get volunteering experience in Nigeria before you actually come here, that will also be really good to actually start developing your CV from Nigeria. And once you land in the UK, whatever part of the UK, make sure to get a job. Also note that as an international student, whatever part of the UK you want to study in, only work 20 hours per week during term time and full-time during the holidays. A lot of people ask me whether they can do more than 20 hours during term time. According to UKVI guidelines, you can only do 20 hours per week during term time, and during the holidays you can work full-time as many hours as you like, obviously within your own capabilities and the government guidelines, wherever that is at that point in time. So that is it really. Make sure to actually get some work experience, even if you feel like you don't really need money. You've got your mom's pocket if you come for your undergrad study, or if you've got a scholarship, for example, you've got a grant that you're getting money from or whatever. I think it's really good to still get a job, even if it's an unpaid job. Try to get as much work experience as possible, even if it's unpaid, even if you feel like you don't need money, even if you feel like my parents can easily sponsor me or I've got a scholarship. Make sure to still try and get a lot of work experience, because that will really help you in the long run. You don't want to finish university and have no work experience at all. A lot of people after university will finish and they don't have any work experience on their CV. They don't have any volunteering. They don't have any jobs they've done. And it's like, okay, what have you done in the past 3 years or 2 years or 1 year that you've been at university studying in the UK? Because I feel like you should really put yourself out there, develop your skills, obviously get a good degree, finish very well. At the same time, do as much as you can to develop your skills. Don't just leave it to just getting your degree and focus on the books alone. It's easy to just say, I just want to pass. Make sure to start planning right from day one. Obviously, the options for you to stay back in the UK after your degree are to either get the post-study work visa, which I will still be in place when you start or finish your degree, or the skilled worker visa, which will mean that you need to get a job from an employer that will sponsor your visa. Also note that even if you get the post-study work visa, you still need an employer to sponsor your visa after the 2 years post-study work visa expires. And that is it really in terms of how to apply to UK universities, what to do. And I hope you found this video helpful. And to end this video, make sure to do your research. Make sure you choose the university that is right for you, the course that is right for you, a course with a placement here, because that is very, very well recommended. And start looking for jobs for when you're at university, for when you finish university, visa options for when you finish your course, apart from the post-study work visa and skilled worker visa, there are other visa options that you may also want to look at. And so that is it really for this video. I hope you found it useful. I hope you found it insightful in one way or the other. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to message me, or better to leave a comment on YouTube where I can easily see it, so other people can see it, and maybe even answer it for you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again in my next video. Until then, bye.